What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we're talking about the brand new leaks and rumor update for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's DLC. In today's episode, we're going to be focusing on the brand new regional fake. We're also the cross-gen evolution Pokemon and some story hints as well. And of course, guys, you like this type of content, please leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it, and consider joining the Pan fam today by hitting that join channel member button below. In our previous video, we talked about this tweet from Riddler Coup. If you don't know what he said fast regional fake, purple to green, and we were assuming either the Pokemon is a purple Pokemon that becomes a green Pokemon, or it was a poison type that becomes a grass type. If you don't know what a regional fake is, because this is like sort of new terminology, essentially this is like Diglett to Wiglet. They're Pokemon that like very close to each other, but they're completely different typings, have nothing to do with each other outside of just looking relatively the same. It's very similar how like bats and birds, both know how to fly, but they're not related at all to each other. So we thought in this community that there was a couple options that this could have been, right? So we were thinking like watermelon coughing was a very popular thing that it could have been. However, there were some other options that I saw in the comment section, which I really like. There was the Pistachio Shelter and Pistachio Cloyster. I thought that was a really cool idea as well. Would have fit as well here. But, we got another tweet update from Riddler Coup here. So Riddler Coup says it's edible. So, okay, what does that mean? And then he said, which or none of them. So he's essentially given us 5 options here. It could be Wheezing. It could be Swalot. It could be Drifloon. Or it could be Spiritomb, or it could be none of them. But the fact that he picked these 4, I do think it's going to be one of them. One, they're all purple, so it doesn't matter if they're a poison type or not, because, not all these are poison types. We have 2 of them that are ghost types with no poison typing, so we know it's purple. And there's only like 92 purple Pokemon. And the Pokemon he selected is a Gen 1, a Gen 3, and 2 Gen 4s as well. Now, here's the thing, right? Wheezing has already received a Galarian form. They do love Gen 1 when they're picking these Pokemon. However, I do think that since Wheezing isn't even in the game, maybe we won't get one. I don't know. But I do think it's more interesting if they did something like Swalot, Drifloon, or Spiritomb. Now, out of the 4 of these, what could be the most edible? And I do think Swalot probably has the best chance of being the edible one. Because let's be real. Swalot, it's like a purple sludge monster, but what's something that's sort of similar to sludge? It has a nice form. It's not like a muck where it's like runny, all over the floor. This has like a good shape to it. This could become like from this purple poison type to maybe a green jello type. I mean, this sort of reminds me of gelatin, honestly. And maybe we can see like a grass type Swalot that's like a gelatin based thing. I don't know. That's probably out of these 4 the one that I see the most that easily can become something edible. Spiritomb would be really interesting. I'm not sure what they could do with Spiritomb. My only thing against Spiritomb is personally, this Pokemon's always been very special, right? I mean, like in PLA, you had to get like the 108 Wisp. Same with like BDSP, right? This is always a very special Pokemon. But something that's pro for it, this Pokemon, because it is spirit based, I can see in the DLC, very similar how in the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC, it had to collect all those Digletts, or even PLA, it had to collect all the Wisps. Maybe again in the Scarlet and Violet DLC, and especially in the Teal Mask, you will have to collect all the Wisps to get a brand new regional variant or regional fake of Spiritomb. So they could go down that route too, which would be really cool. But I don't know how you would make this thing edible. Maybe it's like cotton candy, honestly, is the only thing I can really see. I mean, if you look about it, like, it's sort of like Spiritomb is a Pokemon. It's a gassy Pokemon, but it's also on a rock. So you can see the rock as like a plate. There's potential there too. And I don't know what you could do with Drifloon as a food item. I mean, there are a lot of like lantern festivals and like Japanese cultures during like the summertime, but edible just really throws me off of all of that. So I just don't see it being a thing here. Now, I do want to talk about the other thing that Riddler Coup talked about. He put out the Blood Moon, and we talked about this earlier, which or none of them. And we talked about how all these Pokemon evolve at night, except for Mightyena, right? Umbreon evolves at night. Weavile evolves at night an item, and Midnight Lycanroc evolves at night. Mightyena is definitely the odd one out. Now, I was saying Mightyena will get a new evolution at night. However, I do want to mention, well, we didn't see Mightyena in the trailer, but we did see Poochyena. So we know Poochyena is going to be in the teal mask. Now, what if there is no Mightyena evolution because we are in a different area? What if we just have a brand new evolution that only happens at night and Poochyena evolves into this new Pokemon? Maybe Poochyena can still, during the day, becomes Mightyena, but during nighttime, maybe during a full moon, if they actually want to do like a daytime cycle with an actual full moon appearing, similar to like PLA with the Ursaluna evolution, which I do think will be a good way to do both of those in the DLC. There could be a brand new Mightyena. Now, I do think it'll still be a dark type, but I do think we'll get a dual typing as well. Not sure what it could be, but hopefully they make whatever this new Poochyena or new Mightyena evolution into something that's competitively viable. This really does remind me of Obstagoon, because honestly, like, Obstagoon is a very cool Pokemon, completely different looking, and let's be real, like Zigzagoon and Lanoin just weren't that viable. Now, there is another leak that came out here, and this leak is confirmed fake by Mr. Poirot. So Mr. Poirot, if you don't know, a lot of people in this community won't be too familiar with him, but Mr. Poirot here is a person who literally leaked the Nintendo Direct like nearly completely correct. I don't think he actually got anything wrong. I just think he missed some things, but he didn't actually get anything wrong. So this guy knows some stuff. He's a general Nintendo leaker. And a lot of people were sharing this. I was going to make a video on this, but he actually confirmed that this is fake. So he says the Teal Mass Park is completely fake except for some types. So essentially we can debunk this whole thing. And yes, this thing does mention the watermelon coughing, and that was under the Teal Mass section. So we can pretty much say that the watermelon coughing, watermelon wheezing is not real, which if we go back to the Riddler Coup tweet here, we can essentially safely cross out that wheezing is not going to happen, and that is either going to be Swalot, Spiritomb, or Drifloon, or it could be something that just wasn't listed here either. So we can at least cross out no more watermelon coughing dreams. There's a couple of interesting things here though, for the Indigo Disc, which I think is worth covering. So in the Indigo Disc, he says, in the Indigo Disc DLC, we'll meet the grandson of Drayden. Drayden is from Gen 5. He's the dragon type gym leader, I believe. He looks like a delinquent, but he's actually very nice and a caring person. Upon learning about Terrapagos, you'll revisit Area Zero with him, Kieran, and then a new female teacher from Blueberry Academy that looks similar to Adamon. A new area will be inside of Area Zero, which makes a lot of sense. There is a locked door in Area Zero right now. In Pokemon Scarlet, you will meet paradox forms of Entei and Raikou. I hope this is real because that is my dream. And in Violet, you will meet paradox forms of Terrakion and Cobalion, which makes sense. Both Paradox, Suicune, and Virizion will also be in this new area. This is where you can catch them if you missed the raid events. All of the Paradox legendary Pokemon will play a major role in the story. Cyrano is not secretly evil. He is just good friends with Clavel. So that's our story leak for Indigo Disc. It seems very interesting. I'm just happy that it seems like we could potentially be getting paradox forms of Entei and Raikou. But take this with a massive grain of salt because Pyrono said that the whole first half of this was fake. So we can't assume that the second half of this is real just because he didn't confirm it was real or not. Now, the last Riddler Coup tweet we have is Riddler Coup just tweets this out for winky face. And then he says, more hint, thought this was just DLC content. Nope. So this is not just going to be in DLC 1. DLC 1 and DLC 2 have a connective story, and it seems like we may not be done with the Teal Mass until the Indigo Disc, which makes sense. In the marketing, it literally says Part 1, Part 2. So you can only access Part 2 if you have Part 1. So maybe Ogerpon, who is the Teal Mass representative, it seems like we're going to be chasing them all the other legendaries and maybe chasing him into the DLC of Part 2. Now, the big thing here is he has a different mask. Maybe he has a complete ogre mask. So we probably have some sort of story with him where he gets his true mask and then he runs away and goes to the Indigo Disc. Now, the Teal Mask DLC really doesn't have anything to do with Terra. However, Indigo Disc is being sold to us having to do with the secrets of Terra and has Terrapagos. So maybe when Ogerpon goes to the Indigo Disc area, it reaches his true form, and like, you know, maybe it meets like Terrapagos or something, and it unlocks the true meaning of its Terra evolution or something like that. I just think we're not going to have the final form of Ogerpon within this DLC. I do think we'll be able to catch Ogerpon at the end of the Teal Mask, but I do think we'll have to bring Ogerpon over and do something with that there, or maybe we can only catch it in the Indigo Disc. That'd be pretty cool. But it seems like we will be catching the 3 legendary Pokemon here as we are chasing Ogerpon with them. And I also want to notice that none of these Pokemon have their poison chain, but we have a chain as a trainer, which says to me that we will be catching these guys. Maybe we chain them, like using like the red chain from BDSP, something like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I think this is very interesting for the story. Let me know in the comment section below which Pokemon you think is going to get the regional fake. Like I said, I think we can cross out Weezing. I am Team Swalot, but I would love to hear some ideas on Spiritomb and Drifloon as well. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below, and I'll catch you guys next time for more Pokemon action. Peace out, and have a good one.